My name is Alfred Garrett. I'm facilitating the principal portion of the 7 Ps, which deals with a lot of schools and educators to see how we're going to be strengthening as partners with this community, along with working with teachers and everybody that's with the school system.
So what we want to do is, in each of these spaces, is talk about how do we collaborate in these different spaces.
The majority of the people feel like if our kids could just read more, if they could learn how to read, would be better. But the issue is access.
At the school level, we have to have small groups of students who can meet with caring adults and be able to talk about what they're feeling.
You don't have any reinforcement with reaching the families and getting the services they need, because guess what? They got ACE students.
It was based on 25 schools who had the highest incidence of violence. And so we implemented this program. This is year 2 for the program, and the results are favorable.
So if a kid gets in trouble, and I'm kind of interested to see what other funding that I could use in my school support I could get, because when a kid gets in trouble, let's say they're going to get expelled or suspended or whatever. If they're going to get expelled, we'll have the hearing. I can step up during or after the hearing and say, hey, look, instead of me giving this kid 180 days or 45 days, why not let them go through the SHAPE or SEED program?
I think that's really powerful. And at my school, we have 4 feeders. And so we get the benefit of Tresvant, Manassas, Raleigh, Egypt, and I'm missing somebody. We get the benefit of Craigmont, right? Of all those schools being able to be combined, but also having small, like gender-based groups where, because girls and boys have different kinds of issues and problems.
How can they read if they're in an environment where they're experiencing violence and different things that a lot of people look at it as, oh, well, like you said, well, when my mom, not my mom, but when my mom was 15, she had me, and she thinks I'm gonna be okay, but the actuality is you're not.
As you guys may not know, when it comes to funding, big grantors, they want to give money to a bigger whole versus I give you some, I give you some, I give you some. How could you guys collaborate so you can provide more services for more kids so they can get the funding? Because you did state that funding was an issue to continue these programs. So that's kind of the reason for this concept today is let's find out who's doing what.
Again, we thank you all for coming out another week, and to those who are watching us on live, please make sure that we share this out. I know we're going to have a great stakeholder meeting today with our awesome speaker from Man Up, A-M-A-N-E Up, Miss, I'm there with name. Miss Rachel, yes. Miss Rachel is going to be presenting to us today, doing an amazing job. I had an awesome opportunity to sit down and talk with her about her program and things she do to really get us focusing again. For those who are watching, even those out of the state who say Man Up, M-A-N-E. Main up.
Like the lion's mane.
Like, yeah.
Like the lion's mane.
Like the lion's mane. So she'll explain more about that. But they are, and I know a lot of that is when we talk about Memphis, people say Maine, right? M-A-N-E. But again, excited to be here. I know we had a pretty okay meeting last night with the Shelby County Commission. We passed a few things, I know, last night, and so much on the agenda. So just go back to YouTube and watch it. But one of the things I know we put some dollars in towards the Brooks Museum to get ready to come forward. That's right there on Main Street, Front Street. That's going to be a powerful attraction for our city. Expected to bring in about $100 million from visitors that's going to be coming in from around the country to see us, the Brooks Museum. It's going to be an amazing facility. We invested into that last night. We also, it's so much. Let's pray for it. There was so much on the agenda, y'all. Pray for this. But I'll think about it before I come back. Before we get started, I know we got some special guests here. I'm excited about them and what they do for our county. The Shelby County Health Department is in the house. Give them a hand, y'all. They are amazing. Dr. Michelle Taylor did a great presentation in the committee this past Wednesday. I'm going to get that data book and and bring it out to us here so that you all can see a lot of the data that it shows in there. A lot of eye-opening things, some of the things that we know just by the communities that we live in. One of the things that jumps off the page at me every time that I think about the research and study that they've been doing for many years, but showing in our inner city here, where you see people average age of living is about 66 years old. But when you go out east to Collierville and Germantown and other communities, it's 80 years old. And you wonder why when we talk about these root cause issues around trauma and being intentional about addressing those things, when our heart have to race harder because, you know, you couldn't get in and out of your car with the stress of, is I'm gonna get robbed, right? If somebody stole something out of the house, am I gonna have a job to go to? Just so many issues that you go to and you wonder why people are having such heart disease and so many other things that's pressuring them, and what are we doing? And that's why I'm excited about what the Code Gates and the district connectors are working on to get to those root cause issues. How do we build that village together to address these issues so that those numbers can turn around and we can see some different outcomes later. So I want to bring up this, which one? You coming up? Ms. Paul? What's the name?
It was Sally, Attorney Sally.
Mr. Tiny Sally. And she come up and just share a little bit about what they're doing around opioid and the information that they're sharing with us today. Who else got it, man? You got it. Give them a hand as they come. Those who don't have chicken wings.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much, Commissioner Caswell, for allowing us to come out. Thank you, Nicole, my co-worker. As he said, my name is Attorney Sally, and this is Keith Burgess. I'm a public health coordinator with the Shelby County Health Department opioid response, and Mr. Burgess is our peer navigator. And so basically with our program, we're advocating information and education on opioid use and drug abuse as well as fentanyl. You know about the fentanyl crisis that we're experiencing here in Shelby County. So as we're out in the community providing the information and education, we also give out naloxone, which is known as Narcan. And so we provide a little mini session on how to use it, the importance of having it on your person. And so we're just excited to be here to connect and see how we can bring more education and information and awareness to this area.
Keith Burgess, Shelby County Health Department, peer navigator. My main objective is to bridge the gap between the people that don't know where the resources are and the ones that won't. Some people just never heard of treatment. A lot like myself, when I started hearing about rehab, I just thought it was for white people. I didn't even know what it was. I knew I was trapped in a dark place, but I didn't know it was a solution on getting out. But once I found this solution, I started getting armed with the facts about what I was dealing with. And I started educating myself on what it's going to take to truly recover. I've been able to put together about 2 years of sobriety now. So what I do through the Shelby County Health Department is we go out to the most highly impacted areas of opioids, which is almost most of the zip codes in the city. And we bridge the gap. We try to meet them right where they're at. And we don't just pass out information, we actually making conversions, getting these people to treatment. And so that's what it is. So I will leave my car with anybody who may know somebody struggling, so that I can take it from there. Thanks for having us.
And we have a table set up today, so we would like to invite you to stop by the table. We actually have naloxone with us today. Free. I know it's about $50 a box at Walmart, right? All right, thank you.
Please make sure y'all stop out there and sign this, and I say this, that Narcan can come in help and handy. You never know when we'll come across somebody who will take it over. Miss Portia, you got anything else?
Yes.
Miss Portia is doing amazing work with re-entry in our community, so give her a hand.
Good afternoon, y'all. I'm Portia Moore, the CEO of the Transitional Reentry Adult Program, TRAP. And what we do is we provide different skills and resources for those that are coming out of incarceration, just helping them to navigate life after incarceration. We provide job readiness, workforce development. I assist them with housing. No, I don't have my own transitional housing, but I am partnered with different property management companies that will rent out for felons. My goal is to get them employed. So basically we do a self-esteem building, personal growth and development, leadership development, and just try to transition their mindset from a street mentality to the workforce. The announcement that I do have, I will be having my second annual Walk to Reduce Recidivism. It will be on June 7th at Shelby Farms. There is a $25 registration fee. If anyone wants to be a sponsor, I can get you on the banners and everything, but I'm very excited about this. Last year we had maybe 150 people to come out, so I'm expecting even more since I'm partnered with the city of Memphis. So I would love for you all to be a part of that also. And that is the second annual Walk to Reduce Recidivism. Thank you.
And those who know, on Thursday, I have our public safety, and this portion we can make it by Thursday. We're going to have our public safety ad hoc committee, and this is one that's, but before I finish, our final report that we're turning over to the commissioner. And I can tell you 4 key things that we're looking at when we talk about how do we help transition public safety in Shelby County. One of them is around reentry, big time, because when we look at many of those individuals when they get out of jail, don't have access to resources, can't get a job, so many other factors. So with organizations like this non-existent, it makes it even harder for them when they don't know who to connect with. But that's one. But 2, when we talk about prevention and intervention, things like what Light at Night is doing. I shared Pastor with the commissioners last night how this past weekend he took what he was doing with just basketball. Now almost 40 young men certainly got their forklift license. So thanks to Pastor. We are now they are able to move their economic impact up higher thanks to Brother Dwayne, Pastor Swift back there, whose company actually provides their forklift certification plan. So if you're looking for a company, he's doing it. Give him a hand as well. He brought the forklift out here and allowed them to get it on site, powerful thing that's happening with that. But those prevention things, the other things that we're looking at when we talk about intervention, and I said this, and I told the Murals, I had a meeting with both the Murals last week, that we need to have a line item in our budget when it comes to intervention. And the Murals said, Charlie, it's been hard to kind of follow when you talk about organizations like She Just Walked In, Members Allies, Members Allies, and 911 Block Squad, because I said when they show up on these scenes and they stop retaliation from another crime, that's data you're not going to see. But what we have seen since April the 1st is a murder every day. And I showed up on a couple of scenes, one up there at North French Community Center, and while they was talking about going and retaliating, no intervention was there having that conversation. Why? Because funding been cut at every level to people that's out here putting themselves on the line as first responders. And the fact I said this, Ms. Porter, Jamila, what's the name? Jamila. I call her Sexy Red all the time. But is that these individuals need some type of help too, because they dealing with trauma. They sitting there watching that baby on the ground many times before the police get there because they already heard about the situation. So we really need to think about their mindset going out there and putting their lives on the line and to stand in the middle of the gap for intervention. So that's another thing that we most definitely need to look at here in Shelby County when we're talking about how do we bring down crime in our community. Because one thing for certain, 2 things for sure, y'all heard what the FBI said, right? They on their way. They on their way, and I said that in committee last night that we can't wait till they get here before we doing something to help our children and families in this community to do something. But it's sad that the statistics that's there, but yet that tells us that this work that these individuals are doing are important in our community. So with that being said, the call come on up, District Commissioner. This is our lives, we have something.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Dr. Nicole Gates. So anyway, on your tables is our next District Connector Community Conversation for District 6. We will be at Pure Academy this time. in the Nutbush area. And our topic is actually on opportunity gaps in education and employment. So Portia, I need you to be there.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we need a resource table for you. Okay. We invite everybody to come out. It's open. We provide dinner for you all. But we have a good conversation around the topic, which really comes from that survey. So you see the survey on your table. If you haven't taken our survey, please take the survey. That's how we get our topics for these community conversations. We're looking for solutions. It's not a time where we come together to complain about what's not happening. It's time for us to come together to find solutions to these problems, okay? So our community conversation is slated for July 10th. It starts at 5 o'clock with networking and dinner and all that good stuff, and then we go into our community conversation. This time we're gonna do it a little bit different. We're gonna have a panel of speakers that can kind of speak to like youth employment, adult education, and all this cool stuff. So we're doing it a little bit different this time. So we hope that you all will put that on your calendars and plan to be here. I'm really pressing this today because we won't be meeting until, when do we come back? It's our last meeting into August. So I expect to see y'all in July.
All right, and then we'll be making sure that we get that out in email. But that was my core, if I didn't say it, it is apprenticeship and job training opportunities in our communities. Putting that in the budget and being intentional, like for the last 3 years since I've been on this body, and I think even before I came, this body back the apprentice program, we only been putting in the county about 200 youth in the summertime to work in the apprentice program. At the city, they've been putting 1,700, but a lot of that is federal dollars that they've been using. But I still feel like that investment is a long-term impact. So we're talking about, and we having that conversation at the school level. We're going to see a lot more, and they came to be in their presentation to the school board the other day, where they're going to focus a lot on the apprentice program. The state gives them about $1 million for every high school, $500,000 for every middle school, to provide CTE, vocational type training. So that's important because a lot of these children don't have those skill sets to go into the workforce. And we know the workforce is changing drastically when we talk about artificial intelligence and where that's going. That's a whole other level. But we got to be getting up with the turn. Because if you don't have money in your pocket, you're going to be out here doing something sadly illegal. So, but if you don't have the skills, you won't do it. So that's going to be one of our points too that we're focusing on in our report, to talk about what we need to be doing to reduce crime and make our community more safe here in Shelby County. So thank you, Nicole. That brought that back to me. Any other announcements? Oh, Pastor, come on.
Thank you, Commissioner. I just want to tell y'all a good news thing going on. So I want to thank Sonia. That's my partner in the assembly. We together every day. And that health fair brought about almost 400 people. And it was so good. And she did most of the work. I was just on one side. But on Saturday, when those young men got their forklift license, I mean, they were street people. Some of them were shooters, for real. But I had to hold the dude in my arms. He was crying so hard. He was like, Pastor, I ain't never accomplished nothing. Yeah. He said, nobody never gave me a chance. And he meant so much to him. And he went home and showed it to his parents and his mom and his granddad. And last night, I wanted to say, I wanted to post a picture. They took a picture with me. I've been asked to do different speaking engagements. I'm usually just preach. I don't do all those stuff, you know. Anyway, last night, Pastor Jim, they invited me to Salvation Army. You know, they got the homeless side, the orphan side, the single mother side, the domestic violence side. And I was there speaking last night because these ladies went through a 12-week class, and last night they received their children back. And when I said, I was crying over that. But I'm telling you, all of us are doing good work. I just want to tell everybody, Portia, man, they need you so bad, man. You supposed to get a job. Man, hey, we got to connect with some temp services and somebody that's going to hire them. That's all they want is a job. And so, you know, I say publicly, I thank my commissioner for all the stuff he do, man. He's trying his best to help. We just got to help. We got to help. We got to help. And I started the fatherhood initiative. I had 18 men in my office, and some of them had gotten with their children this weekend that they hadn't seen in 5 years. 5 years. So I'm gonna get on my board with Pastor Mike Honor, because they in child support trouble,
And just hats off to the firm with Pastor Mike Honor too, because I remember their graduation, they had a group, another group. And so how many of y'all graduated? Over 600 and some people now.
Well, altogether, as far as graduates, more like 400.
400.
But we have almost, I think it's 900 that are participating
in the program. And so that program is doing an awesome job to see those guys get stipends and awards for every 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, staying on job. These some guys who ain't never worked a job until they got connected to this program. So just those good incentives, those are the things, because what they're doing is connecting them, and they had them, men had their children there with them. So for them to, for their children to see them getting an award, amazing work. And again, I thank Pastor Leon for his work that he's doing here. I'm excited about every time I come to see those young men, to see that it's more than basketball, that it started with that. Yeah. Speaking of basketball, and I'm gonna jump into this real quick, is that, so we put this out there because some years ago we talked about this so often that in this zip code, we were facing some of the highest murder rates. 2016, Colonel Kirkwood came on board with us. So 2017, 18, we started the Fraser Athletic League Blue Community in Raleigh and Fraser. We saw a 72% reduction in youth going to jail in the top 10 incidents here in Fraser and Raleigh. We went from 750 kids, and this is on juvenile court website, plus kids going to jail in those top 10 incidents down to 200 to 230 to 220, because churches and other organizations came together. We're going to do that again this summer, but this time it's citywide. Now we got Parkway Village, Hickory Hill, other communities that have come on board. They locked in their churches in the south, so we're locking in ours here in the north. Pastor is going to oversee at nighttime for the young men that's 16 to 29. In the daytime, it's going to be from 8 to 15. So that's on Saturdays and Sundays. We're going to run tournaments all summer, so that's kind of why I'm giving up my summer of this. I'm going to be spending time doing some of those coaching, trainings, as well as we're going to be doing some golf coaching with them and taking these young people through that. We know RC3, y'all doing the summer camp. As RC3 summer camp said, don't come looking for fun. They teaching all summer. They got to read, write, and arithmetic. So, you know what, RC3, I do need to take y'all camp and the other camp. We're going to do a literacy program and see if the kids will have fun and which one reading, how they turned out. We're going to do some data behind that. But I'm thankful that we have a diversity of programs and things that's happening for our kids this summer, but that is happening this summer, so I'm excited about that. If you want your church, and those who are listening, if you want your church to be involved, I want to thank Merle Harris and Merle Young, who I met with, that say, hey, we want to put some skin in the game, and they're going to come on board. We don't have to use all our funding to do this, and so I'm thankful for them supporting that. Also, June 14th, if y'all want to see the city county get beat by the city, June 14th, the Heal the Hood Foundation is going to have their annual basketball league. Last year, we let the city win so they can come back again this year. They beat us by 2 points, and so myself, Mayor Harris, McKeel Lyris, some of the other commissioners going to be going to get some of the city council, Mayor Young, and some NBA, I ain't going to say NBA, they are professional ball players, but they went to the NBA, they went to the semi-pro. They're going to be playing with us at Southland High School, June 14th. I think that game starts at 2 o'clock. But we'll make sure if you haven't got that email, we'll put it in our email list. That's going to be happening June 14th. Also, tomorrow, and I was about to announce it, but so I knew we had capacity for about 30 people tomorrow, but I had got an email from the state about a resilient Resilience Summit that happens in Nashville every year. I usually go up there to that, but I chose this year not to go. And I seen they was having a watch party in Jackson, Tennessee, Knoxville, and Chattanooga. I'm like, hey, why y'all got Memphis on this? Anyway, they worked with the director of Tennessee Commission for Children and Youth in Nashville, and we were able to get Memphis on the list. We're going to be partnering tomorrow at Kendrick Place from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. If you choose to come into that conference, she just sent me the list we already about full. But if you want to still get in the room, we'll invite you into the room with us tomorrow. If you didn't register, Tierra sent out an email, and a lot of people register on that email that they want to be there tomorrow. But they're going to be talking about a lot of things around building strong children in communities. As we've been talking about ACEs for many years, this is now focusing on positive outcomes, and they got some leaders from around the country and around the state who's doing some great work to come in for this conference tomorrow. It's going to be at Kendrick Place on Union Avenue. If you slide in, we'll make room for you. So I'm excited about that. All day tomorrow, 9 o'clock, 4 o'clock, we'll have that. And I'm going to say this to that too. One of the reasons why I wanted to be intentional about reaching out to the state, when we talk about sustainability and what we're doing with this wraparound District 6 work, that they see that we're building resilient hubs and building resilience in this community. They now know they got a partner that they can partner with in this community to continue to support the great work that we're doing. So it's strategic that we have that partnership. With all that being said, I want to now get ready to bring up Miss Rachel with Man Up and the great work that she does through her foundation and organization. You'll learn more about it today. I got to sit with her and talk about her organization. So she's going to end our, right before our summer, right? So come on up and give her a hand as she comes.
I like to move around, so I have learned to be self-sufficient, right? If I can get my demonstrations up here real quick for me. By the way, we are Maine of Memphis. It's Maine as in a lion's mane or a mane on a horse, or, you know, we say Maine in this city. It's a part of the culture, right? What we do is we're a preventative hub. We're a health hub in West Tennessee. We serve Shelby County, Madison County, Davidson, and Haywood. So the main cities in those areas are Memphis, Nashville, Jackson, and Brownsville, right? We work with the youth and their families from age 11 to 25 and their families. We teach them financial education as well emotional wellness, right? And so today, we are going to talk about emotional wellness in the workplace. I figure everybody here will be a professional. I know sometimes work can become exhausting to us, and we're really talking about ways.
Especially if you're on the counter.
We're really talking about different ways of how not to let our trauma bleed over into the work that we're doing, bleed over into the community we're doing, right? So I like to make sure everybody understands I'm not here to lecture anybody. We're not here to save anybody. We meet everybody where they are and we walk with them. So when I say Maine up Memphis, you say Maine up me. Can we do that? All right, Maine up Memphis.
Maine up me.
Perfect, because no one's coming to save you. All right, so this is how we're going to start this thing. The small boxes. If y'all don't mind opening up the small boxes on 3. You ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh. I promise y'all won't get hurt. Alright? So what's inside of it is a pop-up box with a little spider that jumps out, right? So to put that in real life for us, how many times have we went into an experience and it has burned us, caused us trauma, we were hurting from it, and it plays constantly over and over and over again in our heads, right? Some people cannot move past that experience. Some people can't move past that trauma. Sometimes that shows up as seeing someone get shot, seeing someone get raped, your parent unexpectedly dying, your spouse dying, something of that nature, right? Now I got a bigger box for y'all. Y'all ready? I promise. I know. The bigger the box, the bigger the surprise, right? It looked the same. It looked the same. It's the same setup. It's wood. It's a box. You don't know what's inside of it. Right? So now your guards are up. Because it looks. I like him. All right. So now your guards are up. Now you're expecting, because of the last experience, that this one's going to be worse because the box is similar, but it's bigger. Open it up for me.
Tell the Lord, thank you.
So that's exactly what we just experienced here. What we just watched. Thank y'all so much. That's all I need about. Thank you. What we just experienced is anxiety. That's how anxiety works. When we go through an actual event that causes us some type of emotional bruising, the next experience that can come up and kind of remind us of the last experience, that's anxiety. Because now we're trying to prepare for the worst, expecting the best, but I'm so focused on actual trauma. I really, can y'all still hear me? I probably still need this for people online, my bad. All right, so as we're going through that, we're starting to focus and we're starting to get guarded, right? Now we don't know what's going on. So when we're at work, how many of us have worked with someone before? We ain't gonna call them names or nothing. How many of us have worked with someone before that has blamed something on us or they burned us and now we're not willing to help the next person come in? I don't want to do this because I don't know what's going to happen. I ain't got time for that. I just want to do my job and go home. I really don't want to be here. I'm just trying to get my paycheck. Right? Now, we spend more time with our coworkers than we do our own families. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you want your workplace to just be calm. Right? How many people have experienced their coworkers who are not engaging in actual meetings, they don't show up, they don't want to do anything? It's probably because of their anxiety. Because they're constantly judging themselves off of last experiences. They're judging you off of last experiences. So now they're not really thinking subconsciously, they're thinking subconsciously of not helping. So I had 4 people up here. This is how anxiety works. Out of one out of 4 people experience anxiety. And it shows up different for everybody. There's 2 sheets in front of y'all. One is, it has some statistical facts on how the state of Tennessee is looked at for anxiety and mental crisis in this state. And this is what's happening in Tennessee right now. Nearly 1 million adults and 96,000 teens in Tennessee are fighting in a silent battle with mental health, impacting families and communities across the state, calling for immediate action, right? So, of course, I'm here because this is what we do. We are a solution hub. We are a health hub. We are state licensed insured to come through and teach these things. We are a teaching organization. We're not here for profit. We're not a charity, but it's not free to do either. So, Made Up Memphis is tackling the mental health crisis in our communities, emerging youth, and we focus on 11 to 25. We had to bounce it up a little bit, facing a heavy burden with 96,000 teens that will eventually become adults that's constantly feeding this cycle of the 1 million adults in this state. See how that works? Everybody with me still? All right, perfect. Now, girls and women, they are prone to anxiety, depression, PTSD, bipolar disorder, which kind of goes into opioids, right? Because we'll get into that in just a second, because people are looking for ways to calm their anxiety down. That's why there's a lot of teens, and sometimes adults too, who smoke weed, because weed will help you bring your anxiety down. It's just a quick fix, but once you get in that cycle, they say you can't get, what's the word I'm looking for? Addicted to weed, you most definitely can. So, while boys and men experience higher rates of disorders of ADHD, schizophrenia, and substance use related illness, right? Again, going back to offsetting those different types of mental health issues or concerns. So there's another sheet that we're going to talk about right here. It's the anxiety cycle. Everybody see this sheet? Now, this is why I had y'all say, when I say Made Up Memphis, you say, we're going to try one more time, so I know y'all still with me. When I say Made Up Memphis, right, because no one is going to help you break this cycle. You have to help yourselves. We can show it to you. My mama always taught me 2 things. You can take a horse to the water, but you can't make it drink, right? Here's the next one. When a dog is showing his teeth, you don't know the smiling or grinning. You have no idea. In other words, you don't know what people are going through. That's why it's always good to be compassionate and respectful for one another. We've gotten away from that. So when you're walking down the street and you see someone, smile at them. Did you know that a smile can save someone from killing themselves? A smile. I didn't even have to see. That's it. I see. That's all they mean. I see. And naturally, they will smile back at you. That's 2 lives saved right there. Now imagine if you just say, hey, I like your hair. I like your shoes. You smell good today. All right, so the anxiety factor. Can somebody read that sentence right up underneath it for me, please? Everybody read it once.
You have to understand the cycle in order to break the cycle.
You have to understand it in order to break it. Now, there's a great definition that's attached to the word insanity. Anybody knows the definition of insanity is? Doing the same thing over and expecting different results. All right. Now, anybody willing to read what an anxiety trigger is? And we'll talk about how that looks in the workplace to bring that back into play. Anybody want to read that for me?
A stressor appears disappearing, uncommon deadline, unexpected change, or fear of being judged.
Right. Okay. So for the people that's watching us at home, anxiety trigger, a stress appears. This could be an upcoming deadline, an unexpected change, a fear of being judged at work. Now, the number 1 trigger for everybody at work, and I don't care what your demographic is, old, young, black, white, I don't care. You can speak Spanish, I do not care. Does anybody know what that number 1 trigger is? I'm gonna tell you, evaluations. Evaluations is the worst thing anybody wants to go through because another person gets to judge you on your work performance. Now imagine if y'all do not have a good relationship and y'all don't like each other. And that is your boss. Right? Now we're triggered. Now we're constantly walking around on edge, don't know if I can talk to somebody because I don't know you hanging out with the boss, y'all going and having hee-hee ha-ha moments. I don't know if y'all laughing at me or not. What's up with that? I don't want to do none of that now. Now you're constantly on guard. A new person comes in. Right? Now you gotta train. Well, I gotta train. Don't nobody else want to train. Well, I gotta do this because you don't like me, Joe. So now Joe, me and you, we got a problem. And little old Mary is new to the job. She just want to get paid on Friday. Like, what's going on? And she don't walk into something. Now she's triggered. See how that works? All right. Now, going through this cycle, can someone tell me what the second step of this anxiety cycle is? Anybody? Anybody in this room? You know I'm gonna start calling out. Dr. Gigi?
Constantly scanning for danger.
Constantly scanning for danger. If you don't mind reading that little paragraph at the bottom for me.
Sure. Your mind stays alert, overthinking interactions, or anticipating failure, even in neutral situations.
All right. So now what that looks like for the people online, I ain't forget about y'all. Second step, constantly scanning for danger. Your mind stays alert, overthinking interactions, and anticipating failure, even in neutral situations, right? We just had a demonstration on how anxiety works. Your anxiety has kicked in now, because now you're expecting the worst based off of previous experiences. Now we're gonna go into avoiding places and situations, because now you're starting to dodge meetings, emails, responsibility, avoiding discomfort and judging. You don't know if you can trust your coworker or not. You don't know if you can set up with this. They're starting to hold things back, and then you don't want to participate. Now you are really high, right? You're really high for your anxiety now. And everybody's sitting here looking at you like, dang, SpongeBob, I'm just trying to get some doggone work done. You don't want to work with me no more, Patrick, we just gonna be best friends. You know what I'm saying? You're not showing it. So, you get off work. First thing you do, hey dog, come on down, meet me at Hooters. Come on, let's go get a drink. Let's go get a drink. Meanwhile, in your family, alcoholism runs in it, right? You see what's going on? Well, you know what? I can't even make it home. I gotta fire up the blunt, rolling down the street. And guess who's behind you? Rolling down the street. Now you ended up at 201 Poplar. These are real life situations. Now, we're talking about short-term release anxiety, or we're gonna bring that back in, right? Fentanyl, it's everywhere. People are doing it all the time because they're trying to cope cope with anxiety, this is the number one thing, and it does not, again, matter your demographic. I don't care if you white, black, orange, purple. I don't care where you from. I don't care how old you are. I don't care that, you related to the Smiths. I don't care. Because at the end of the day, mental health affects everybody. So short-term release for anxiety, when you feel a temporary relief by avoiding tasks and the issue is unresolved but the pressure builds. Now, there at the ending of this, which is the last one, how much time I got? Okay. So now we are at anxiety grows into something long-term, right? Without addressing it, anxiety becomes chronic, affecting job performance, confidence, and well-being. Man, this portion just left up out of here. Don't that sound like something she's trying to address? Yeah. Right? So we are here to talk about preventative measures of that. There is healthy ways to dealing with your anxiety, and there's unhealthy ways. I'm sorry. It's on the back side. Yep. Now I'm going off the brain. I've been practicing for a moment. So we talked about the unhealthy ways of dealing with anxiety. Anybody want to tell me some healthy ways of dealing with anxiety?
Exercise.
Absolutely. Exercising. Well, Rachel, I don't like running. You ain't got to, dog. Get outside and walk. 30 minutes to an hour outside with no cover and down on your nerves. People are allowed to go take a smoke break. You are allowed to go take a walk break. It's under the same thing. People take PTO to go have fun, prepare the others, right? We done heard of that. You can take a day for mental health. Invest in yourself. Take care of yourself. Right? Anybody else want to name a way, a healthy way of dealing with anxiety? Listen to music. Oh, I'm glad you said that. That's very common. Let's talk about music. Because, anybody seen the movie Sinners?
Oh, yeah.
Right? Wasn't Sinners good? Sinners was amazing. And there was a moment in there where they had us, well, I ain't gonna ruin it for everybody, because y'all need to go support our boy, right? But there was a moment where it shows how music and the culture, and not just the culture of the blacks, the culture of this society, how music affects everybody, and how it can be so calming on the spirit. So if you sit here, love them to death. I love all music. I have nothing bad to say about it. But if you listen to bang, bang, shoot, shoot, I want to go do this, and I'm shooting up the block and all this all day, and your coworker on here trick at you, what's the first thing that pops up in your head? Hello? You know what I'm saying? And they shoot you. Now we in the drop. You at 4 o'clock. That's a little right. Catch me on iTunes. Now, let's just say, because some people are like, oh, that's not real, Rachel. That does not exist at all. Yes, it does, because it's marketing. There is science behind this. There are people who get paid millions and millions of dollars to make sure that they live in your subconscious. Well, how does that work? When you are going to watch a movie and you see a nice little Coke get popped, you don't think nothing about it in that movie, but you get out 2 hours later, you going down the street, I'm a little thirsty. I think I want a Coke.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah. So what do you think that they're doing when you got bang, bang, shoot up the club? They're doing the same thing. So I say all that to come back to what Dr. Gigi just said. Listen to music that helps your comment and your spirit get calm. Just there's some rap music out there. You know what I'm saying? There's all types of music out there. It's not one genre. There's just explore is what I'm saying. Is there anybody else that have any other healthy ways of dealing with anxiety? Shopping. I'm so happy I had one person say this. And this is why we teach financial education. I'm glad you kept it real. Come on, Secretary, thank you. So let's talk about this. So she said shopping for the people at home. Shopping is not a good way to dealing with your stress because you are now tying your emotions to your finances. That's not good because now you're in another vicious cycle. Come see me, we'll talk about it. We'll come talk about it. Financial health, right? Because now it's just like emotional eating too. Somebody normally says that too. So we're gonna talk about both of those. Because when you're happy, you want to go shop. When you're happy, you want to go eat. When you mad, you want to go shop. When you're eating, you want to go shop. Everything is going back to it. And then you look at MWW, you always gonna want that money. Always. Your mortgage, your rent gonna want that money. They don't care about those shoes that you done got, but you don't want to take them shoes there because you already showed boo-hoo that you had them shoes, and then they look at you, and then you just don't want to be over there with it. So, instead of shopping, because one way to do that is you want to get out of your environment. That's why you're trying to change where you are. You don't have to go to places like that. I believe Fraser just opened up a wonderful library. It has a lot of different things in there, and it's all for free. I'm just saying, go explore. Get out of your normal routine and go do that. That's all. Tumbling Park, they just redid that. It's beautiful down there. Don't even look like you in Memphis sometimes. Why? Because everybody's coming together and having a good old job time. And again, they coming from Carterville, Bartlett, South Memphis, North Memphis, and they're having fun. So just go explore. Next time you say, you know what, I want to go to Dillard's, you go downtown. Check it out. So, anybody else got any other healthy things?
Deep breathing.
There it is. Exactly. So now that we got the flowing on, right? Those are all things that we can do. And now when we go back to work and we come across somebody who wants to trigger us at work, we know better ways of how to handle our anxiety. So I always like to end these events, right? The workplace is such a place of dysfunctional family, you know, because you gotta see them every day. You probably end up knowing your coworker's business better than you probably know your auntie or your cousin or somebody's business, because that's how it works. But to make a workplace environment much more desirable and welcoming, what type of leaders and colleagues would you like to see there? Anybody? What type of leaders and colleagues would you like at your workplace?
Where you feel a sense of belonging.
Belonging, so being welcoming, so acknowledging each other, right? Okay. Anybody else? Everybody don't speak at once. I mean, I got 2 ears.
Trustworthy.
Trustworthiness, okay.
Spiritual.
Spiritual, okay. Give me one more. Unity. Now, what is the quickest, fastest way to see those things at work?
To be.
And again, I am Rachel Chantel. Thank you for my TED Talk.
All right, anybody got any questions? Come on back up. Any questions?
Do you come out to other groups to speak to groups
Yes.
as well?
Yes.
Okay, I want to get your information.
Yes, sir.
And we know the churches should have questions about the members and the lay people and the work. I know I formerly was a pastor. You know, folks coming in want to be in leadership, and then how do you handle that situation when they still dealing with their trauma, but they want to lead the people, right?
So my question
Well, that was
is,
my question.
and I heard you mention it, but like we have a problem with this in the workplace, trying to give people jobs. Their anxiety is so bad. They almost got to smoke weed. What else can they do?
They don't have to do anything. You know what I'm saying? That's just an easy way out because it's a temporary feeling for them to numb how they feel. The only way through pain is through. That's the key word. So they have to be allowed to feel uncomfortable to get comfortable. And they need a support system for that. They need to understand that it's okay to not be okay. And when you're not okay, here's some healthy ways of dealing with it. Find some friends, find a support system, journal, get out and walk. It depends on that person. So it's not a quick way to answer you because you have to talk to the person and figure out what the issue is. And a lot of times it comes from childhood trauma and them trying to protect themselves from those triggers. And they don't even realize that, hey, I'm not even here to harm you because I got my own crap I'm trying to get through. But we have gotten away from it.
Oh, and to that point, she said something powerful. It's like if you don't pass a grade, you got to repeat the grade. And so if you feel like just going to marijuana don't do it, and guess what? That situation still gonna come back. So what am I doing different than that? Because if we stop with that, then we'll never see what's next. Because a lot of times, I know I used to have to rely on it. When I saw my two friends killed, because I didn't want to see those bodies on the paper. I felt marijuana was like its way until I started going to the basketball game. They taking me to the boys club, taking me to the soccer game. I got out of my environment. And sometimes, like she's saying, you got to get out of our environment. You got people never left Memphis before, never been on the airplane. They left the neighborhood. And so why it's important to give these kids exposure, because we are leaving them in the trauma that they had where it happened to them. So that's where if they feel like there's nothing else there, marijuana is easy to get to. You're gonna do that. So yeah. Anybody else? All right, everybody good. In a good workplace. I think come work in the county. Can we switch jobs? Every time somebody gets that. Give my hand. But again, I appreciate you all looking forward to those who can come. Y'all know my birthday Thursday. If you have not got the invitation, you come in. Hey, so how many of y'all know who else's birthday Thursday?
The city of.
Tell me one thing, I see it before, right? So the city of Memphis. So Memphis is going to be doing something at West Acres Brewery. It started at 4:30 to 8:30. So those who want to go celebrate with the very young. Now, I know we're going to transition coming to us, and we're going to be starting our birthday celebration, again, campaign fundraiser. I'll be announcing there that I will be, and y'all hear first, I will be running again next year for county commission. My wife probably wish I wouldn't, but y'all pray for them. But again, we have seen great outcomes. We have seen some great movement. I think we're moving the district in a great place as we'll continue to come together. I feel like we've got more to do, and I believe in the next term we're going to be able to take it a little bit higher. So I'm looking forward to that. So May the 22nd, my birthday, May the 27th. Please make it back if you were one of those business owners, or if you was not, who came to the first MMBC business convening that we had here. Next Tuesday, they'll be back here from 12 o'clock to 3. They're helping you with those next steps. If you have not filled out this survey, let me know if you got a business and you need that help getting your business to the next step, because they're going to be bringing back coaches, banks, and others next Tuesday who's going to be working with those people who pretty much filled out their survey and told them what their next steps are to help them. This is a part of an investment we made to grow women and minority business here in Shelby County. And we're seeing some great numbers out of all over the county. They've been in all 13 districts. I think it was like 600 or something different business or people to show up at these meetings. And so that's important, because many of these people in these meetings told them they never had a business before, never had no one in their family own a business, so they felt like they were stuck. And so we're going to be doing these sessions to take them to the next level. So that's next Tuesday, 12 o'clock to 3 o'clock, if you can make it by to see us. Anything else, Tiara? Legacy of Legends starting workshops.
Oh yeah, we started our workshops today.
You don't never say that.
I forgot.
Legacy of Legends, we'll start the workshops Tuesday. When they start?
Well, we started today, but this cohort is reached. So you can sign up for the next one, and I'll get the information. This one runs from today up to through June 10th. And it is paid for participation, but you must attend all classes. And you can also get points to shop at the Resilience Hub, where families need groceries, if they need clothes, if they want to have a family night out with a family of 4, they can use their points to participate in any one of those activities.
So you get paid to learn. That's what happens. You don't have to pay to come. We paying you for coming. And you're going to learn. We need to get her on the next
Yes, I was thinking of that.
and make sure that's a part of the workshop. Again, thank you all. Any other announcements before we leave? Pastor, we good? No food coming up this month? Next month? First Thursday next month, if you need some food, wrap around Mystery